Well, after a week of campaigning, what have I found out? I still think it's probably a 50-50 split whether Scotland wants independent or not. I do not think people are completely happy with the join with England, but they're not too sure about the join with the EU. I've always said I don't want to be completely in the EU, I'd rather have the Norwegian model. The Salvo meeting on Sunday certainly opened my eyes to free ports and how they are being imposed on Scotland and Caithness and Edinburgh, and how this is distorting things there. But you'll have to read the Salvo agenda to get more information about that. With respect to leafleting, it's very time consuming, but I'm doing my best. With respect to electricity, well, I do think we should be getting more cheaper electricity than England, but that's the way it goes. I am still very concerned about all those pilots out in the North Sea. Yes, it's great to generate electricity in the North Sea, but most of the energy goes south to Englandshire. I have been happy to see there's a power line going in Fife underground, because that's what I tried to say to the SEN earlier on this year. If they're bringing power from the north, that power should be underground and not interfering with the landscape down the Strathmore Play. What I also was concerned about, these pylons give off a electric wave which can and has proved occasionally to cause cancer. So not only we must think of people, I think we must think of the animals on the grazing fields. I think these pylons could take a lot of room up, and I don't think it's any good. I suggested at the SEN meeting earlier this year that they put it underground, and I suggest why didn't they work with the government down from Inverness down to Perth underground and improve that road? You could do both at the same time. And further out, more, I also suggested several times when you're doing that, make a small area for bikes. And my way with bikes is you have a nice bicycle lane, but the bike ways are all covered so the cyclists don't get wet, and occasionally they can charge at the bike and maybe even a seat. So if it's wide enough, pedestrians can do it. We need to be thinking more about these ways of travelling rather than just in our cars. I've got a car, well, me and my wife have a car, and yes, I do find it useful. But if I were to find the actual roads a bit more cyclable and dependent, I'd be very happy. Last week when I went up to Stonehaven, I saw a road race, and I saw at one point little kids on bikes going the opposite direction. Going up the way another day, I found at least 6 bikes between where I am in Montrose to Stonehaven, at least 6 or 7 bikes on the road. And the one I also saw was just outside Stonehaven, 2 people on bikes heavy laden on a dual carriageway. I felt very sorry for them. We need more bikeways. We need to be a bit more like Dutch, Holland, and Belgium, and even France is quite good for cycling. Where I'm in a place in Menorca, there are more and more cycle paths, and over there you also see lots of car parks covered with solar panels, so it protects the cars from the blastering sun and it produces electricity. What else do I say this week? It's hard work as a single person trying to get into Parliament. It's hard work to get up to my 5%. If I get 5% of the vote, at least I won't have to lose my £500 I've spent, plus £70 I spent on pamphlets. It would be nice if some people would support me, because I am an old man. I have a pension, which had to come this month, came to £700 from the state. I get more than that because I have a teacher's pension. But the teacher's pension is taxed, and which I feel very unfair because I paid tax on that pension when I was putting in, and now I'm paying tax when I'm taking out. I don't think this is fair. Nor do I think it's if you're living with your partner and your partner dies. You are then have to pay 3/4 of the council tax. 3/4 of council tax. I don't think that's fair. I really think it should be half. The person's lost their loved one and they are still having to pay more. And obviously they'll lose the pension of their loved one. I think it's a very unfair system we're living in. I heard today that the bus group, Stagecoach, might be going bust. I have noticed of late they're definitely cutting down on certain routes. I do think buses are very important in our country. I would like to see more little bus companies. I would like to see more little bus companies, not too big. Maybe like that I've seen in Turkey. Turkey, you have a bus which goes from A to B a long way. And then you have dole buses go from A, B, C, D, E up to where the last one we're going to. You also have a smaller bus which actually just goes along the main road but stops at various other little points. So you can meet the big buses at the start point and the end point, and all the bits between you can pick up these buses. They work quite well, extremely well, I would say. We need to get more people out of cars, off the roads, and onto electric buses, and or onto the bikes. Electric bikes are great. I have an electric bike. I've had one for over 10 years now. I feel like to get a tricycle one now, but I do think they're very, very useful. I noticed also when I was in Port Lesson, they're digging up half of the road, and somebody told me they're actually putting a cycle path there. Well, I've been asking for a long time for Montrose, just since that's where I live, to clear the old path so we could cycle on that. Or I would have loved to see, and I said this years and years ago, the old railway lines covered in ways for people to cycle. Now, lots of farmers have dug those ways into the field. So I think slightly good conscience, they should put them away along the side of the field. I don't mind for people to cycle and walk. By the way, I do like to see cycling and pedestrians away from traffic because traffic exudes a lot of CO2 and other pollutants into the air, which you then breathe. Okay, that's me stopping for today. Bye.